Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat, and I am back for the hashtag 50 stack challenge 7. This is a 25-week prompt assignment challenge. Each week I draw 2 prompts out of my bag. All the prompts are in the bag from the beginning of the challenge. And then the idea is to make 1 piece of ephemera for each of the prompts. That way at the end of 25 weeks, you'll have a stack of 50 pieces of ephemera, unless you're using them along the way, obviously. So, for example, last week, what did I do with other there? I said the numbers wrong last week, and I didn't change them on here yet. But anyways, number 15, not 16, was wreath. So for wreath, I did these little circles in the shape of a wreath. And then it's a piece of ephemera that can be put into a pocket or whatever, and has, you know, just tuck it in a pocket. I didn't realize I got ink all over the back of that. I'm pretty good at that. So that was number 15. And then number 16 was gold. And for gold, I did pumpkins, watercolor pumpkins using Tim Holtz Distress Oxides for the orange part. But then I added gold to them, splatters, and also in with the watercolor. This one has silver and gold, but this one, I thought these would be super fun. You could tuck them into journal pockets, put them on top of a greeting card. Couldn't think of the name of that, or, you know, whatever you like. So anyways, that was so we had 15, 16, so we're on 17 and 18. So number 17 is photograph. And that can be any photograph that you want. It can be a Tim Holtz photograph. It can be a photograph of a family member, whatever you choose. Number 18, gesso. So just use some gesso on your piece, however you would like, around the edges, as splatter, if you have it. If you don't have gesso, just use like white acrylic paint. Same difference, honestly. So yeah, just that little bit of white paint, fun to cover the background with or whatever. So I will get some things together and be right back. Okay, hi, I'm back. So what I'm going to do is start with photograph. And I did take a coffee dyed glassine bag, and I painted some gesso on it and splattered some gesso as well. And like I said, if you don't have gesso, just use white acrylic paint or whatever you have that would work, like white paint. I'm going to be using some of these photographs of mine. They're called Christmas photographs, and they're in my Etsy shop. I've cut some out already and down to size, because we're going to make some of these type of things, and lots of people have done this, but I think they'd be fun, and I don't have any Christmas ones, so I'm going to make some of my own. So I cut some green masking paper down, and they're about, I cut them at 2 1/4, which is, yeah, these are 2 1/4 wide. So then I also cut my photographs to roughly, you know, meet that size. And then I have other pieces of paper and things to use, and all of them might not be quite the width that I want. If that happens, I'll probably put another piece of paper down, like maybe just book page or something, and then put what I want over it, because I kind of want to use some of these, but as you can see, they're not quite long enough. And that's because that's just what I have. So I'm just going to use what I have and not worry about it. A lot of these are from my Paint and Play digital. And so, like you can see, this is not wide enough either, which that is a bummer. And that one's not either. Well, all right. So we'll just see what we can come up with here and go from there. And I can just cut these apart. This is the Rustic Christmas kit. And then I'm just going to cut these using my cutter. So hopefully I can get a semi-straight line on that. So how are you guys? I hope that you're doing well. I'm doing good. I'm going to cut a little less and cut some off of this side too. It's a sunny day here. It's lovely. And then, you know, you can just cut these whatever size you want to glue on. And I guess I probably should have cut a bunch of them, but I just wanted to, you know, you guys to be able to see what I'm doing. So that'll work. So we'll put one of those on. I'm just going to glue. I'm not going to ink these. So the cool part about these, if you've gotten those collage strips, is you can use them for a lot of things. You can use them for belly bands or tags. You can decorate other pieces with them. So I don't know, they're just kind of really nice to have, and I really enjoyed having the other ones, the Tim Holtz ones that I have. So I wanted some Christmassy type ones. And yeah, just see what we get here. I might actually turn this way, even though it's sideways, to do a little piece. I don't know if I want it like that though. What size is this one? I already cut this piece down, but we can cut it down a little bit more. So yeah, let's cut that down some more. This might be more than I bargained for, but I want to try it and see if I even like making these. Maybe I just prefer to buy them from Tim Holtz. Some things are just easier like that. Or I think the old design shop, I believe, has them. I don't know if she has Christmas ones, but I've seen Carol Laws use some of her collage strips. But like I said, I have no clue if she has Christmas ones or not. I'm not sure. I thought I cut this at 2 1/4, but clearly something's wonky. Okay. And I do like the idea of having some other kind of paper and then one of those on there. But maybe we'll do a photo first, because otherwise we're going to forget to use our photos. So I'll put Santa on first. So how are you guys? What's going on? Anything exciting and new? I need to say hugs and blessings. Hugs and blessings to Maddo2116, Kay, Nancy, and Betty Ann. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for your kind comments always. I appreciate you very, very much. And welcome to new subscribers, and welcome back to those of you that have been with me for a long time or a short time. I'm going to worry about trimming it after, and I may not even worry about trimming it at all, actually, because it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, and if you don't mind liking and subscribing and commenting, if you could, I would appreciate it. All the things that make the channel go round, right? There's any activity helps channels, not just mine. All your favorites, whoever. Because I know, like, I like to watch at night and just relax and not worry about all those things, but it really does help your favorite channels, so it's a good thing to do if you can. If you can't, don't worry about it. Because I know a lot of people watch on TV and it can be hard to do on TVs. Especially if you're technologically clueless like me for the most part. I mean, there's stuff I can do, but my husband has all the tech things on the TV, and I don't always know how to work everything, so. Which I know sounds silly, but it's true. Oh my goodness. I didn't cut that enough, did I? Well, that was silly. I'll try that again next time, I guess. This one, is it wide enough? Yeah, because I can trim it down. these are the same thing. If I use one of these, it's going to have to be on top of something else. So let's use some stripes. And yes, I know it's not wide enough, but I can turn it the other way with the stripes at least. Some things are directional and it matters, but that isn't, so. We can make that work. Guess I can just cut 2 1/4 and then just cut this side off. It's funny, this stuff that kind of stumps you or whatever. Silly. I just think it would be fun to have one of these on there. So I think I might do something like that. Just because I want to. Yeah, we have really nice weather today. It was cold when I walked this morning, but it has definitely warmed up to be a lovely day. Lovely fall day. I am going to ink this because I didn't do the best job in the whole wide world cutting it out, so. And I am going to glue it on a little sideways. This way, maybe I'll go this way. Doesn't really matter. Do I have another photo I could use? Yeah, if you had the perfect size, you know, photos and all of that, the smart thing to do would be just to cut a whole bunch of stuff and then you could just put them together. So there's a good, if you're sitting on the couch kind of project, just cut all your stuff ahead of time and then sit and glue them together. That would be good. I guess I'm not going to use those. I can use this one though and just use a narrower piece, or yeah, I still want to use this, sorry. I might get my act together today. I don't know. There's some days when, you know, it doesn't pay to get out of bed, basically. And apparently today is one of them. Now, how is that? It might just be the way the piece looks, you know what I mean? Because it's a old vintage game card. And it may not have gotten like scanned very well. Because that is hard to do. I think I'm just going to glue it down and then trim it to fit. Because otherwise I know I'm going to make it too small. And that wouldn't be fun. Yeah, I think these would be fun. Belly bands, whatever. Tags. And then you can back them too to make them, because obviously this isn't very thick on the back with this green masking paper. It's very thin. So you could back it to make it a thicker. This is just kind of a nice base to start out with. I do want to still try to do this. So I'm going to cut a bigger piece, a wider piece. this paper is a bit thinner. See, right there, I would have cut it crooked. Not great with these cutters, I'm telling you. That's why I think I like to tear best, because I feel like I have lots of user error when I use these cutters. It always moves a little bit. And then I'll put like Christmas cheer on there. And I have Deck the Halls too. Strings, glue strings. Deck the Halls, Christmas cheer. I think I just like the Christmas cheer. I am going to eat that a little. So yeah, if you've never made these, they're kind of fun. You could do the same thing by doing a big collage masterboard and then just cutting it up into strips. I mean, you might not get quite like this, but if you did your collage masterboard kind of in strips, you know what I mean? That would be one way to do it too. And they don't have to be this specific size. I just did it that size because that's what size the Tim Holtz ones were. But you could make them whatever size you feel like. Piece of this. I do think it's good to do a little thinner. I don't know what I was going to say. Sorry. Brain just went out to lunch. Out to lunch. Oh, I think it's good to cut everything first. Like, get all your pieces cut out first, and then just go for it. Just glue away. So you don't have to keep stopping and starting and all that. And do I just want a piece of this, maybe? So yeah, I think this is a good piece of ephemera to have. And you could do them for any season or any theme that you want. You don't have to do Christmas if you don't make Christmas journals. It just happens that that's kind of what I'm working on now. So I need to turn off. But yeah, you could do, you know, just like the Tim Holtz with all flowers and like old ledger and all that kind of stuff. I'm just going to go for that and not worry about it being backed, because most likely I'm going to back these because they're just kind of flimsy. So you could do these with, if you have the old adding machine paper roll stuff. I've seen people do stuff with those. That would be a really good thing to use, because you could just go on endlessly, you know. I'm going to trim it just a tiny bit. I want to keep the numbers, but I think I'm going to just, I don't need all this down here. It's just extra. All right, so that is what I'm doing for photograph. And I have another one that I could do, but I think we've got it. We get it, right? Maybe some more little pieces in between would be better. But that was the first time I ever did one, so we're going to say it's good. Okay, so then the next thing is the gesso. I might have to, yeah, I'm going to have to pause and get my bag dry, and then I'll come back and decorate that. So I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, I'm back. I did cut this so that it's more square, or whatever you want to call it. I remembered while I was standing here trying to dry this bag that I have these, thanks to Linda, thank you. And I'm thinking I could put maybe a green one across there. Because I like having something on there. Maybe we'll put Happy Holidays across here. And then where it hangs over, I'll just trim it off. I forgot I had those until I was drying and drying and drying. Thought it was never going to get dry. Oh, well, it's on there, so. So yeah, you can also, if you look at your strip and go, oh, it's kind of boring, it needs something, whatever, you can add things like that or other doodads. There's no, in my opinion, there's no like hard and fast rule or like you have to do it this particular way. I think you could add all kinds of neat things. But then I guess it starts to get into the whole, yeah, that one's not wide enough. Then it's more like a cluster or one of those type of things rather than one of these strips. So, season's greetings fit the words. No. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas will work. Oh, why don't we use that one? Genius idea, Amy. I don't know, just adds a little something to these, I think, you know. If you have them. I had them, so I was like, I'm going to throw a couple of those on. Yeah, that peps it up a little bit. All right, so that is done. Photograph is done. All right. And then we're going to go on to gesso, even though I think that's still a tiny bit wet right there. I'm not going to worry about it because it's probably going to get covered up anyway. I'm not going to cover it completely, but a lot of it will get covered. Just a layer, and I'll probably put more on, more splatters once we get it all decorated up here. I want to thank you guys for being supportive of my Etsy shop. I really appreciate you guys. It's been nice. We've had some fun things come out in the shop, and so I'm happy that you guys have been liking what you've found there. And I have had a few questions. One, I had the question, do I do like custom orders on the Glowforge? Like if you send me a file or whatever, can I cut it and send it to you? And I really can't do that because, well, one, my Glowforge is dead. And I'm kind of struggling at the moment just figuring out the other laser cutting machine that we have, because like we're trying to get files over to it, and I don't know. I just don't know how to use it all that well, and it's not the same, and there's things it doesn't do. Like I can't do stencils. We can't figure out, that was another question I had. We've tried and tried and tried to figure out the settings for stencils on the new one, and it just melts the Mylar. So, I mean, I'm going to continue to work on that when I can. But with Christmas coming right now, I just don't have the time to do that because I have orders that I need to get done. And yeah, so anyways, I'm not doing custom orders for, you know, cutting stuff out. The only custom orders I do, and I don't know that you'd really call them custom, is I do make journals and then you can buy my journals. I don't do a custom order as in you get to say, I want this type of journal, but when I'm done with a journal, I contact the next person on my list. If they want the journal, they can choose to purchase it. If they want to stay on the list for a different journal, they can choose to do that too. And they don't go to the bottom of the list. They just, I'll ask down the list until somebody wants the journal. I sell it to that person, and then the original person would go to the top of the list. I don't have that happen usually, so that's not really an issue. It's usually the next person on the list gets the journal that I'm currently working on. But anyway, that's how I do it. I tried to do custom journals, like you tell me what kind of journal you want, but as I've said before, that's really difficult because sometimes I don't feel like doing the style maybe that somebody wants. And unfortunately with creating, or you got to go with your muse. Like, you got to do what is inspiring you, because otherwise it just becomes like drudgery. I think I'm going to actually have this over further and just snip off the side of her dress and not worry about the dress, because I want this Christmas stamp right here. So anyways, that is what's up with Glowforge, etc. And yeah, it would be great to be able to do that, but oh yay, I just can't do it right now. I just don't have a way to do it with doing videos and everything. If that's all I was doing was running my Etsy shop, I could probably do stuff like that, but I just don't have time. I can barely get done all the things I have to do every day. So anyways, sorry about that. So I'm not going to put any glue down at that little corner of her dress, because we're going to chop it off. So you can see, nothing difficult here with gesso. I know some people get intimidated with the mixed media sort of thing, but I literally just painted some gesso on there, did a few splatters, and that was it. And then just the little bit of collage there. And that's a fun little bag for a Christmas journal. I forgot to ink around them. Oh well. If I can cut the dress without cutting the bag, that would be fantastic. And then we're going to put more gesso on here, so don't you fear. And then we'll make a tag, and then we'll be done for today. That was a pretty good go of it. I don't know why I'm bothering to put that there, because it probably won't help. It'll just sort of block a few splatters, because I always get it like all the way out. I'm very good at that. Very good at making a mess. That's for sure. Let's just spray this a little bit. It makes it easier. So I have just this white texture gesso, but you can use any gesso or white acrylic paint. You know, whatever you got. I gotta cover up their faces. I almost forgot. Somebody was yelling at me. Thank you. Because otherwise it never fails. You get a giant blob right on their whole face or something. Lovely. It's very... I don't want to get a ton. Oops, see? Right on Mary's eye there. Okay, I think that's good. I don't think I need more than that. Okay. So that is gesso. We're going to do a tag too, but just so you can see. And then for the tag, I have just a piece of the kit paper, which is, again, is the Rustic Christmas. I am going to ink this. And we're going to put on some book page. I need to get rid of my mess here. I apologize. Magazines are great, but sometimes the pages like all stick together on the edge. So it can be a little tricky. And then I have this little piece, which is, it's like a blueprint or whatever type, something like a blueprint of one of those Christmas stars. I'll show you just a second so you can see it better. And this came out of like some Christmas book I had that I don't have anymore, so I can't remember what it was called, but I got it on Amazon. It was like all kinds of Christmas things you could cut out. And they're almost like magazine pages, which I don't love because they are a bit shiny, but I do like this. Just found it in my stash. But you could use all kinds of decorative Christmas bits. Use what you got. I was going to use that, huh? Maybe I'll use this little bit. Because I wanted this. But I like those trees. That's cute. And then this little angel from the Rustic Christmas. And I think I'll do that. And I did have a word I was going to put on there, but I don't know what I did with it. I wonder if I can get this off of here. These were given to me by Nancy, not Nancy Piter, another Nancy. Thank you, thank you. Because we really don't need all that extra paper. Oh, you silly thing. And our little angel from the Rustic Christmas. I think I said that, yes. This is pretty thin, so I'm just going to use glue stick. This is cute. It's a little sled with a teddy bear and a present. Fun Christmas bits. That way. And I had a word. What did I do with it? Egg. This is the problem when you're working on journals and you have bits of stuff hanging around and then you do a different project and the desk becomes a disaster. So this says Twinkle Star, so I thought that was kind of perfect. Try to remember to link those Christmas words. They're from a different Etsy shop. I can never remember what it's called for some reason. I don't think it says on here either. No. All right, and we'll put a little gesso on there, I think. I just want a tiny bit because I don't want to get too much on the digital because they just turn pink and weird, and I don't know what that's about, but it's annoying. And I'm going to cover the angel's face. I didn't put my paper down, but okay. And that's all. I'm not going to do any more than that for that part, because I don't think it needs it. Just a little. I got a lot on the other piece. All right, so we have, this is number 18 is gesso, and I showed you that, but I'll bring them both up so you can see a little better. I know it's hard when stuff's down here and that's up there. So 18 is gesso, 17 is photograph. We have our collage strip with photographs of Santa. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you have fun making your own version and you can use whatever you want to use, and have a fantastic day. Love you. Bye.